Now, say my name.
The Rolling Bad Podcast.
You're goddamn right.
Coming to you almost live from a small pub in Settlers Gain near Rio Rancho, New Mexico, it's the Rolling Bad Podcast, episode number 136. It is October 23rd, and I'm your host, Bill. Hey, Lumineth Realm Lords don't need a path to glory. They're already there. Castello, and with me today,
all the way from the Temple of Torcrania, it's Joshua, Stomp If You're Horny, Alt.
I love it. Okay. So, kind of foreshadows what we're going to talk about today.
As foretold from last episode, we'll be diving into the Sons of Behemoth and Lumineth Realm Lord's Path to Glory. I took up the Sons, and Bill's got the Lumineth.
I got the easy part.
Yeah, you did. Bill has 4 pages on his Path to Glory. I have approximately 11.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, so I'll be doing a lot of talking later on today.
It's okay. It's okay. Boy, they're markedly different, and I think we'll cover our thoughts on why they're so different.
Yep.
When we get there, to start off with, I do want to make an announcement. That was some sort of drum. I don't know what that was. The Basement Wargamers are proud to bring us Summer Slaughter again. It is an Age of Sigmar GT. It is coming up next year, July 22nd and 23rd. So if you want to get all the details, go out to Facebook and look up Basement Wargamers. Real quick, if you buy tickets from now to January 31st, they're only $95, and then they go up from there. This is Summer Slaughter. This is a big deal. They've bumped it up to, I think, 124 now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this is Sean Feather and those Basement Wargamer guys. They're awesome. They are awesome, and they're going to have doubles. They're going to have a doubles tournament on Friday the 21st. That one is $75. So in the notes, they say the battle plans for the GT and doubles are going to be pulled from the most recent General's Handbook, whatever it is at that point. So there should be a new one out by then.
Okay.
So just if you're planning things ahead, be aware, July 22nd and 23rd next year, go. It's Summer Slaughter. It is one of the big AOS events.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's right up there with LVO and Nova and Adepticon. So, and they put on a good show. So, also want to throw out a quick rest in peace. This is kind of weird, but Angela Lansbury passed away right after our last show. If you don't know her, she's the one most recently known for Murder, She Wrote, which was, some little town in Maine that everyone died.
Yeah.
6 times.
Yes.
I mean, Cabot Cove was the murder capital of the world. But, it was whatever. But, I remember her from my childhood in Bedknobs and Broomsticks and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And, all the classic stuff that she's done. And plus, she's Dame Angela Lansbury. She was knighted. And, all the Broadway stuff she did. She was amazing. So, the 40K balance status light came out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay. Wow. Yeah, it was page full of meh, whatever.
It kind of reined in Tyranids and Harlequins a bit.
And Necrons.
Yeah.
They took away the Silent King bullcrap.
Yes.
Which even I thought was, I love Necrons. And I thought that was just wrong. You can re-roll your own dice now. Not just an aura for your whole side, but...
Yeah. You're not core. Get over it.
Yeah, it's...
but rules is written... Oh,
stop. Yeah.
So, I was kind of hoping they were going to address some stuff with leagues, but I guess they're not. But, maybe it'll come out in FAQ or something coming out.
Yeah, I think that's still a work in progress because the army's not even fully ranged out yet. So
I know, yeah, but they nerfed it before that even happened.
Yeah, exactly. That was a day one nerf.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fixed some of the egregious stuff. No points changes because we know there's a book coming out shortly, a new season for them, so the changes will be there. Yeah. That will probably make these changes make more sense.
I'm hoping so. Yeah. And with the guard stuff coming out, they didn't really need to tweak anything there. Just, it's a holding pattern until that box launches.
Oh, God, that Yeah, anyway. Give me that now. Anyway. Yeah, I kind of wondered why it was so meh.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if we're, maybe they're going to do this out of cycle edition change. I don't know why this data slate would be so incomplete when there's so many things that need addressing. And I mean, none of this stuff is egregious. None of it is game breaking. They reined in the Harlequins. They reined in the Necron silliness. They reined in the Tyranid abuse.
Yeah.
So pretty much playing against those three armies is going to be a lot better of an experience now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they accomplished quite a bit. I just thought there would be more, or maybe we've just maybe we have been put into this place where we expect more sweeping changes.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of set precedent for that, but then again, they just did that sweeping change with leagues. So to do another one through, the balanced data slate, I don't know. I don't know. What's interesting to me is that no one's talking about demons, and they didn't do anything to fix demons. Demons are still, I think demons are one of the strongest armies. It's just going to take a little bit, to get them there. And everyone's already talking about Flamers of Tzeentch are the most overpowered thing you can get in the damn game right now. Like, even Chaos Space Marines are taking a detachment just to have Flamers.
Yeah.
Because those things are just death machines. They are ridiculous. But I mean, God forbid they auto wound on a 6 and cause one gun to do a thing. But either way.
Josh, salty much? You said that right as I was taking a drink.
That said, get your Flamer games in now, because I'm pretty sure they're going to do something about that. Their points are probably going to go up at least by 10, 15 points. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. With the new armies coming out, renewing armies, Imperial Guard and World Eaters, I think it's going to shake things up a bit.
Yeah, and with the new campaign book or the new season book that's going to come out for them, chapter approved, there may be a plethora of changes in that, which sort of they're just doing this to get a fix out.
Yeah.
And that will be where we see a lot of other changes in that book. So,
yeah.
But that's about it. So, let's take a quick break and then we'll roll into New Dawn.
Sounds good.
All right. All right. So we are fed. So we're going into New Dawn, which is pretty light.
It is. Who would have thought that the one segment that sometimes takes up most of our shows is just really not there today?
No. I mean, the pre-orders for yesterday were the Underworld's Gnarlwood.
Yep.
And the sleeves. And yeah, I was there at the store to order that. I really want that. I love those. The what's his name? The Graveguard.
Yeah.
They are so cool looking. And it really has me pumped up to play Underworlds again, which is weird because I haven't felt that urge for a while, but I see it coming. Then they also put out a Rivals deck for the Forces in the Box. So if you're not familiar, the Rivals decks are just these, you just buy them and you have an automatically pre-built cool deck to play.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, they're super handy if you're getting into it and you don't want to do I'm looking for the exact right card mix. And, if that's not the way you play.
If you're not the competitive card gamer. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you are, then there's articles in White Dwarf where they go really in depth.
Oh, yeah.
On how to build decks for the different factions. So, and of course you can go online and find tons of info down that road. But the Rivals decks are like when Pam and I play, the wife and I play, that's what we use. I know it's going to be reasonably balanced and fun.
Yeah. And that was the guys from the most recent box, right? It was the Skaven versus what are they called?
Yes, Skaven and
Dark Elves. I can't remember what they ally with Daughters of Cain.
Yeah, they're not the Cainites, but oh god, yes, the other guys.
Yeah, someone take away our Warhammer card, please.
I know,
we just could not name that.
Good lord.
Yeah.
And then the only other real thing that came out was the Black Library Dark Imperium collection.
I mean, that was cool. At least.
Oh, it's beautiful, but
they yeah. I mean, it was very light last week, and I feel like either something big's going to drop here pretty soon, or I don't know, we'll find out at 11 o'clock what's going on.
Well, they might have been held up because of the massive rush on the tools. Oh, wait, stop. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, well, the Shadow Vaults dropped this week. That was supposed to be a big one.
It is.
For all you Kazakin fans out there. And
yes. Oh, they're so cool. I can't. Oh, man, yeah.
Everything you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look amazing. Cards looking amazing. They look really fun. Just from the things that have been kind of trickled out. I know that if anyone's a big Guard fan, they're probably looking at Morty and Glory's YouTube channel right now and just taking notes on all the supposed leaks he has.
I'm avoiding it like the plague. I mean, I get what Ospec Tactics distills from it and from a couple of other places, but I just literally, I know his source is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to sort of reinforce that kind of behavior.
And also, too, I mean, if you genuinely love Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's something about the surprise to it, you know, when it finally comes out, you're like, oh, my God, it's here. I have it now.
And, I mean, they're trickling out info. I think Guard's coming around the corner. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they can't announce that box and not have it real soon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure GW's probably not going to launch any new products during December.
No.
So they're going to have to be getting their stuff going.
There's a short window coming up.
So we should see Ogors, Slaves, maybe IG, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. Before December.
We should call them Astra Militarum because they're not Imperial Guard, right? I think they're better known as the Guard because it's so much easier to say.
It is.
But
Astra Militarum. I mean, yeah, it's trademarkable. Big deal. Imperial Guard.
I mean, plus, like, one of the most famous quotes, you know, for the Cadians is the planet broke before the Guard did.
That's right. And Cadia stands.
Cadia stands.
No kneeling models.
No.
I love that. Oh, Lord. So, yeah, from the leaks that we've seen and the dribbles that we've seen on the website, the 40K Guard looks so, oh, man, they're going to be so fun to play. I mean, they've lost a lot of abilities, but I think some of the abilities they lost were either inconsequential to the game or they broke a basic faction, a basic facet of the rules.
Yeah.
And so they've been replaced by better stuff. So,
well, I mean, if you like tank lists, I'm hearing they're going to be pretty solid.
oh my God.
Right. And then, oh man, the Rough Riders have people divided.
Oh,
It's
Jesus.
crazy. I saw them. I was like, this is way too cool.
It is. It's so good. Oh, Lord, I love those.
Yeah, just, 5-10 guys charging in on horseback with freaking meltas on the end of a stick and just nuking like Terminators. Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that all day.
All
Please.
day long, thank you. Oh, my Lord. The idea of horses charging a tank is so Poland 1939. But it's just, oh my God, it's awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
So the Isengard and Rohan battle hosts made it to America and are in stores. I picked up the Isengard one because it had the new Saruman model in it, which I didn't purchase before.
Yeah.
So I already have the Aomer, so I didn't buy the Rohan because I have enough Rohan. So yeah, it's those battle hosts look sweet.
Yeah, I don't know why you buy an army that you know loses.
Because not everything has to follow the movie. Okay, well, usually does, though.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Rohan's better. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, so like that was New Dawn, guys.
Yeah, that was it. We're
gals.
just waiting for 11.
So we'll just sit in quiet until 11 o'clock. We got 29 minutes from now. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, we'll take a moment of silence. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Make sure you join us tonight for the news at 11.
Okay, as the lady said, it be 11 o'clock, which is a lie because it's about 20 after. Next week is, if you're into only AOS, ignore it.
Yeah.
However, if you're into 40K and you're into the Leagues of O10 and you're not too salty about the changes, that next week is the week for you because
it is.
Boom, Votan drops.
It does. I mean, literally the whole range.
Yeah.
I mean, everything they've shown us is coming out. So you got the Codex. There's a collector's edition as well.
Yep.
Probably not going to be bought too many of those. Only while stocks last. Okay.
Yeah, it could be a while.
Yeah, into next week. The Combat Patrol Leagues of Votan, not terribly different from the Army launch box. So it's going to be your 3 Hearthkin, Pioneers, your 10 Warriors. You get 5 Berserks, and then you get the Call / Uthar the Destined, so you are down. Essentially, you swap out the Chthonians for 1 Hearthkin Warriors, and you don't get the Einherjar Champion. So not terribly different.
No, not really.
Price point, they usually come out about $150 American.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want to start or just get into it, that's not a bad box.
No, it's a great start.
Uthar the Destined or the Call will be separate because you need that for your essentially your captains.
Yep.
The Grimnir, probably the model I'm most excited for.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get 2 of them just so I can do one of each head, right?
If it was a little taller, I would say that'd be a great Gandalf, but
No, it'll be a short Gandalf.
it's true. I'm actually looking at that model for a lot of purposes, not in 40K,
Oh, yeah.
but Middle Earth.
I mean, if you took out the 2 little dudes on the side with the guns, like
Yeah, you don't need them.
You wouldn't even think it was
You just
a
change
sci-fi
out
model.
his staff and that thing that's on his back, and you're in there.
Yeah.
He's got a great look.
Einherjar Champions solo pack. Einherjar Hearthguard. I really like the Hearthguard are the thing that just drew me to this army the most. So I'll probably be picking up a couple boxes of them at least.
They look like tiny little space marines.
Right? I just keep thinking of the Terrans.
Mm-hmm.
So then we have the Brokir Iron Master. Love that model. That looks great.
That is super.
Yeah. You have an HQ that's essentially a unit, right?
Yeah.
5 models in the unit.
Mm-hmm.
And he
With his automatons. So
yeah, before the changes, he was hitting like a freight train. So I could see why they had to do some changes for him.
yeah.
The Brokir Thunderkin, these ones have been
man.
very divisive
Yeah.
in terms of like people wanting to use them because everyone just says they just don't seem like they're going to do enough. But I don't know. Maybe because everything else got, nerfed, maybe they'll actually be pretty
They may
decent.
have jumped up a little bit.
Single boxes of Warriors
Yep.
and Pioneers and Berserks. Then we get to some of the cooler stuff, the Sagittar.
God.
Which, oh man, they need to change that to dedicated transport. But maybe it's because of the guns it can take. But
Which is only all the guns.
it's a fast attack, and there's a weird thing where you can actually take them in a unit, and then you can take a unit of 10 models and split them between the 2 of them. And it's the only way to sort of combat squad your Hearthkin warriors, right? Otherwise, you have to take them at 10.
Right.
Then the Hecaton Land Fortress, the Turtle Van, with every gun.
All of the guns.
You could glue more guns to the side of it if you want to, and everyone would probably believe they were supposed to be there
Yes.
because that's how many guns it has. But yeah, God, I'm excited for all these models.
Jeez.
They just look so good, even if they,
Are nerfed.
yeah, they got slapped down. They were too good. Leagues of Votann dice. Now here's something for AOS players, Bill.
Yes.
That's right. If you are
The Fire Slayer's dice are here.
they are better Fire Slayers dice. They got that yellow and orange, but it's see-through,
Translucent.
translucent. They look clean, and
Yeah.
I think that Fire Slayers players probably pick some of those up, guaranteed.
I mean, the 6, the icon on the 6 is very Leagues of Votann, but you can look past that, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yep.
Then you have the data cards. If you're not like me and bought 3 of the army boxes,
You need those, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I've got some of those to go around. Yeah, it's all leagues all the time in terms of 40K releases. No AOS releases except for the dice.
Yeah.
Then Horus Heresy's getting the Demos Pattern Predator support tank.
Yeah, baby.
Oh yeah. Oh, it looks so good.
It is. It's so cool.
Looks so good.
So good.
So that one you have all the different let's see, Plasma Destroyer, Magnum, Melta Cannon, Flamestorm Cannon, Heavy Conversion Beam Cannon, and Neutron Blaster all come in the kit. So yeah, you're gonna have a
Yep.
good time with all those guns. So make sure you magnetize.
Yep. And get ready for a Spearhead Assault because it's coming. It's got to be
boy.
coming.
Oh, it has to be. It
Because
has
they're
to
even
be.
talking about it in the latest White Dwarf.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Coming up from Forge World, we have Corswain, the Paladin of the Ninth Order, which is, wow, he is just a gorgeous, gorgeous model.
Yeah, it
Oh,
looks
man.
so good.
He's the Dark Angels hero. It is so evocative. I just love that fig. And, you look at it and you can see you make 1 or 2 changes and you have an Emperor's Champion for Black Templars.
Yeah.
It's just so easy to do. And of course, he could become a champion for almost anybody. All you really have to do is leave off the helmet wings, which are very Dark Angels, and then get rid of his belt sigil, and you're there.
Yeah, he looks so good. And one of the things that's really drawn me in is the chainmail inside of his cloak.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that attention to detail. Oh,
Yep. A chain cloak.
I mean, he truly looks like a knight. It is really good sculpting.
Yep. And he's wearing the very old backpack with where the thrusters are not little balls that hang off the end of it, but they're
Yeah.
actually thrusters. So I love those.
Death Guard Legion Praetors.
Oh yeah. So it's Death Guard week.
They look so good.
So yeah, you get two gorgeous Praetors. This is before they've gone completely Nurgly.
Yep.
So they actually look like people with some Nurgle on them. And then, of course, we're getting the Death Guard Mark 6 upgrade shoulder pads and hats. So you get new heads. And you get the same thing for Blood Angels, heads and shoulder pads. But no Praetors for the Blood Angels since they're already out there.
Hey, yo.
Oh, boy.
Eisenhorn the Omnibus.
Yes, sirree.
Yeah, that's really good. This is one of the things that people complain about a lot when I'm just noticing at the store is that, like, because those books sell so quick.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, try finding Xenos. Like, try
good
finding
luck.
it.
Yeah.
Right? It just flies off the shelf. By having the omnibus and getting all the books in one, that's going to be so wonderful.
Yes.
Right?
And it's not just, it's Xenos, Malleus, Hereticus, Magos, as well as the other short stories, Regia Occulta, Missing in Action, Backloth, and the Keeler Image. So, which each one of those short stories is really good. The Keeler Image is one of those that you're just like, oh, Eisenhower. Oh, why?
Yeah.
Dude. Oh. But yeah, you know him. You'll love him. He's Gregor Eisenhorn. He's the best. You have the successors, a Space Marine anthology. 13 short stories from 10 Black Library authors. And these are lesser known chapters of the Adeptus Astartes. So we're talking Dark Angels and, you know.
We're not talking about Chaos, man.
Oh, you're right. It does say Space Marines. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
We have the Greater Good on audiobook. That's the Caiaphas Cain model. It's not a Tau book, just for those who are confused.
Yes. No, that's Caiaphas Cain.
Horus Heresy Collection 8 in French, as well as the Dark Imperium series in French.
Yeah.
And then the Black Library Horror Week subscription. This is going to be pretty cool. You know, the horror stories and the detective novels that have been coming out in for both, you know, fantasy and for 40K have all been wonderful, right? The horror stories are pretty darn good. I've been impressed. Like, my first one was Curse City, you know?
Yeah.
And reading that, I was like, holy cow. Of course, I didn't realize at first it was the preamble to the game.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And then, was it The Bookkeepers? I can't remember. It's one of the books I'm reading right now. I could see the picture. But anyway, it's a 40K horror novel, right? And there's so much to work with there, you know, particularly from human perspective. So I'm looking forward to the Horror Week subscription.
Oh, yeah.
So bundle of 6 digital short stories starting from the 24th. That's tomorrow.
Yep.
Available individually or as a catch-all subscription, delivering each book to you as they release. And so we got some interesting stuff on there. Let me see if I can zoom in and see them.
It's the stacks.
The Somewhere Sister, the Pharisine Paradox, the Gnarled Bow, Pain Engine, and King of Pigs.
Huh.
All those look real interesting. The Pain Engine is featuring the Talos.
Ooh.
So that's going to be pretty interesting.
That's going to be up there.
I'm assuming the Somewhere Sister looks like, I don't know. It's vague enough on the covers that I can't pin him down except for Pain Engine. And I have a feeling King of Pigs is going to be a fantasy. But if you like horror, I mean, this is the week. Because actually, by the time you're hearing this, it's almost Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
So happy Halloween.
Yeah. Coming up on Warhammer Plus, they're going to do a Gnarlwood. I know it's Gnarlwood. Battle report, which should be kind of fun. That I think I will watch just because. And then for the painting master class, Miblor Darkfang.
Oh, the special Chaos
Sorcerer
Lord.
Yeah, the one
with his 4 Griblies that you can. Yeah, that's the major pull to that model. Those 4 little Griblies. You know, and certainly I want the Terminator, but I will actually, when given the opportunity, purchase him just because I want the little guys. Sure. I think they're so cool.
Yep.
And they have that thing on the Warhammer community or at least one of the Facebook forums there where it has like which one would win in a fight.
Yeah.
I vote for the little pot, by the way. The pot with teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's Space Dwarves next week, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. No AOS releases at all.
So, well, I guess I'll hold on hope for Ogromar Tribes next
week.
Next Sunday will be announced. But hopefully they keep, leaking some more stuff out so I just know what to keep painting.
That's right.
So I think that does it for the news at 11.
Let's jump into creation.
Sounds good. You're a little busy this time, Bill.
Yeah, well, I finished up the Star Wars Legion commission. I am completely done.
Woo.
Yeah, I am so glad to have that. Honestly, I don't know how commission, people that do that for a living. I don't know how you do that. Because, I mean, I guess if you had 8 hours a day or, you apportioned your time correctly, you could make it work. But, I mean, every spare minute I had was completely dedicated to doing that and none of my hobby. I still have Daughters of Cain sitting behind me that I want to get to. I would really like to do something with that now, but I might switch to Lumineth. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Particularly for their robust Path to Glory, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they're so deep. Anyway, yeah, so that is done, and it was done just in time. I put all that stuff in a box. I am on my way back from the UPS store when I get a text from Vic saying, hey, I got your Dinjarin and the IG-88 boxes. They're set aside for you. And I was like, what? Quick turn left and on my way to slice and dice. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. The Mandalorian and Grogu. And then, of course, the IG-88 models. So I don't know if I want to do a full up, Mando style army, but they're definitely going to be added in. So.
That'd be real fun anyway. Paint at least.
Well, and what's funny is in Legion, Din Djarin and Grogu have some of the quirkiest rules. Din Djarin is, of course, a Mandalorian, so he's going to be at once a bullet sponge, but he's also super good at what he does. And his rifle is just, oh my gosh. But Grogu is like a complete wild card. When he tries to use a force power, you don't know what you're going to get. Some flowers might start growing, or he's just going to like blow up half the planet. So he's a wild card, and it's fun.
I love it.
So in the world of MCP, I picked up 2 boxes of the Mark IV Sentinels and a Mark IV Sentinel Prime. They are huge. They are large and in charge. So it's going to make games of MCP sort of weird when the Sentinels start getting splashed in, or I think playing them as a faction will be really, really fun.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they made Cassandra Nova part of the faction. She's affiliated.
Interesting.
And, yeah, she brings some interesting stuff to them. So they'll be fun. They'll be fun to play. And I wanted to cover the GW tools real quick. Yes, I bought all 4 of them as a service to you, the listener. I bought them so you don't have to.
Oh, he said GW tools. I thought you were talking about us.
Yeah, well, we are tools, yeah. Honestly, if you've been in the hobby for more than 30 minutes, the GW tools are a hard pass. I kind of don't like the idea that when a store manager hooks a new person into the game, they bring them into the ecosystem, and they're like, well, here's the GW paints, and everything we do is based on this range of paints, and blah, 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 and here's our brushes, and, they will get you through anything you need to do. And then here's our tools, and this is all you'll ever need is these tools and this glue, and they sucker people into buying $50 nippers, and I don't even know what the prices on all these things are, but these super expensive tools that are, I mean, what you spend on all those tools, you could buy part of an army.
Yep.
And then go to Hobby Lobby and get the knife, the clippers, everything you need. So it kind of bugs me that they do that. But, I mean, the clippers are okay. They are not $50 clippers, guaranteed. You could buy 3 good ones. I mean, really good ones, the Tamiya clippers for that price. But, I mean, they do what it says. They cut stuff off sprues. They have a nice pointed end, so they get into tight places, but so do the other ones.
And if you're the listener who is now using their new GW clippers while listening to this podcast for the first time, we send our apologies.
I am sorry. Yes, I am sorry. I like the knife. I like the X-Acto knife just because the handle is comfortable for me.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not $38 comfortable. It's not like, oh my God, this is the best. I'll never put it down. No, it's just kind of nice. It's a little different and kind of nice. I do like the knurled handle, so that it doesn't loosen up nearly as much as the old one does.
Yeah.
The drill is it's a fine effort. Let's just put it that way. And don't buy it, please. save yourself. And then the mold line remover is exactly what it says it is. They've made it a lot thinner and smaller at the end, so it's a lot more usable. And it does do what it says it does.
The big thing on that one, I think, would be the comfort of the grip compared to the old one they had, because that was like 2 pieces of hard something screwed onto metal, and there's like no ergonomics in that.
Right.
Like I have a callus on my index finger on my right hand just from holding it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, what are you supposed to? I mean, you have to kind of hold it that way, unless you're just gonna, like, I don't know, reverse knife it and scratch stuff with it. But
stab.
Yeah, that's the main reason I've thought about getting that one only.
Yeah. I think of all the tools, that one is probably the most improved, and I would actually recommend it. I know there's a lot of people who just say use the back of your knife. Honestly, it's hit or miss, and you'll see the difference.
Yeah.
The backs of knives usually drag, and they make all those riffling things on your models, whereas the mold line remover hardly ever does that.
Yeah.
It really does do what it says it does. So, but yeah, that was my creation. That was some Sentinels, a lot of BattleTech stuff, a lot of MCP stuff, and finished up my first and last commission.
And last.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is not true, because I'm getting ready to do, I have to do it for the guy. I mean, he can't play otherwise. So I will do it for him because he's a great guy. So,
well, I mean, if it's for a good cause, right?
Yeah.
It's not like just some guy who's like, I need you to paint 6 boxes of Horus Heresy for me. No.
Right. After I do mine.
Yeah. So for mine, I built and converted King Broad. I haven't primed him yet, but and I'm very slow rolling Gargants. Very slow rolling.
Have you posted those pictures?
No.
Oh, you have to.
Okay, I'll put the
my
pictures up on Discord.
They're
But,
so good.
So for my first one, I did the Kraken Eater, and it's kind of somewhat based off of the giant from WoW that would just walk out of the water with his giant hammer. But my idea was that he was more like, you know, coming out of a frozen lake type of thing.
Yeah.
And so like all of his skin is just bright blue, and everything is just dingy and gross and, you know, kind of rotty in a way. His eyes are dead.
Yeah.
And then I had 2, what were they? I can't remember which cities of Sigmar armies, but I painted up like ghosts.
Yeah.
It was like ghosts walking around his feet. I was like, yeah, this is kind of the start for it. Then we had 2, back when you can get the Man Crushers in packs of 2,
Right.
which, by the way, Man Crusher mod pack for 160. Holy cow.
Wow.
They're back to original prices.
Yes.
Pick that up. Anyway, so Kim painted one kind of like a sickly green look, and she's not quite finished with it yet. And then I painted one with like a black skin, but with like gray ashiness to it, like black skin.
Yeah.
Right. So like that really nasty rot.
Ew.
And just like Nurgle's rot on the ground and stuff where he's walking around. So King Broad, I'm like, well, I have to pose him like he's dead. How am I going to do it? So then I figured out, and this is great for the modeling stuff for anyone who's listening. If you get Broad, he has that really dumb pose where he just has a hammer in front of him, which looks so bad. It just looks really bad. But the hand that he has grabbing onto the pole is actually made to like clasp over it. There's no grooving or anything on the shaft that it fits into, and it creates this like almost perfect circle type thing. And the reason being is that the Beast Smasher uses the same shaft, but he only holds it with one hand.
Sure.
So I modeled King Broad headless and carrying his own head with a spinal cord dripping out of it, right? Or hanging out of it.
So cool.
And it's just modeled right now. Again, like I haven't primed it, haven't put paint on it, because, you know, I was like really just trying to find all the pieces. I think his base is mostly done in terms of the initial setup. Well, I need to put some like spackling on the cardboard just to make it look a little different. But it's, so all of them I model as if they're dead, right? And so he just happened to be the one that carries his own head.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's kind of themey with Halloween, the headless horse giant king guy. Yeah.
I don't know where the horse comes in, but yeah, I think we got there.
Well, he's the headless. Just doesn't work without the horse.
The headless giant man. Then painted up 4 lead belchers, finished 6 gluttons.
Nice.
I posted a picture of that on the Discord this morning with the butcher that I had custom made, because I was not going to do resin, especially not that janky looking model. So what I did is I actually got one of the riders for, what are they? The beast riders, like on the stone horn, you know, where you have 2 of them.
Yep.
I took one of those, have him sitting back on a tiny little barrel, like it's almost like it's creaking underneath him. And he just has tons of meat. Like he has meat in his mouth. He's holding ribs, like right in front of him. I got another barrel and put another like several sets of food and got a knife chopped into it. So he's butchering right in front of him. Yeah, I love that model. Nice. And then painted the Frost Lord for a Frost Lord on Thunder Tusk. That my wife is doing the Thunder Tusk, so I was going to handle the Frost Lord. I whipped him up pretty quick. So Ogors are coming.
Those are so much. I know. I can't. I am so jazzed. I'm hoping to get the Beast Claws back on the table because that's my. I love that army and it's painted really nice and I just want to. Everything's magnetized so I can swap heads whenever necessary.
Monster truck rallies.
You betcha. Like you said, power slide in.
Yeah.
I got a new monstrous stump.
Yeah. The monstrous stump. I'll maybe talk about that more in After Dark, but Tokyo drifting into units to get them to fight last.
Yeah, that's... Hi, daughters.
Yeah.
Hi, daughters.
Oh, yeah, especially with all the Ogres new stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's my hobby. My hobby is focused on Ogres because they're simple and easy, and they can help get my mind out of the homicide that I've been prepping for.
Oh, boy, yeah.
I'm supposed to be in back-to-back homicides, so I'll probably get one continue, but I start a 3-week trial on Halloween.
Oh, jeez.
Right?
Egads.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'll be keeping up with hobby stuff, but I won't be doing any battle, which was kind of a segue into my part of the battle, which is I ain't done nothing. I played some video games we'll talk about in After Dark, but I ain't done nothing in terms of hobby right now, in terms of hobby games.
I hear you.
Just because, I don't know if anyone here is prepped for that kind of a trial, but oh boy.
Yeah, that's some work.
Yeah, I've been up since 5:30 this morning, and I read through 120 pages of transcripts before I came to record the podcast.
Jesus. Great. What's top of mind, Josh? I don't know. I just want to kill everybody.
They're about to prosecute me for homicide because these. Yeah.
Okay, so my battle was slightly different, but only slightly. Got in half a game of AOS. It will be continued, not this week, but next week. I'm playing Stormcast against Daughters. I was telling Josh earlier, first turn, kind of crazy. The deployment was really, really weird, but I managed to get Andrasta into Marathi, baby Marathi, not big snake lady Marathi.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'll get 3 wounds. Easy. Andrasta proceeds to whiff completely. I think he actually had to roll like 1 save, I think. Yeah, I only did 1 hit.
She's hitting on 2s, winning on 2s, and you're just like,
Well, it's one of those weird things. It's how this game can be spiky. And that's why you actually play the game and don't just run numbers and figure out who wins.
Yep.
She just managed to do really poorly. And so then I rocked up with a unit of 5 Judicators. And this was dumb because I was reacting to a game situation. These Judicators were on an objective, and that was their job.
Yeah.
You sit on this objective, and you don't ever leave it. And instead, I was like, no, I have to get these 3 wounds, damn it. And if she failed, I've got to use whatever's available. So they rocked up. Of course, they did 3 wounds to her. Then it was like, Andrasta should really leave the battlefield. She should be like, oh, my God, look at the time. I have to be in Azir. Oh, I got to go, guys. Because she's so embarrassed.
Well,
but,
pocket liberators sometimes do the job.
Liberators on Marathi. To be fair, he rolled like I rolled to hit with Andrasta on his saves. So, yeah, that was kind of handy. But, it was one of those comical moments where we just had a good laugh and a beer because needed a beer after that one. Not that we condone alcohol use. And then played a 6-player game of BattleTech, which was actually kind of fun. It was one of those wanted to bring in some of the big combined arms rolls. So one person on each side was bringing nothing but the airplanes, the air forces.
Okay.
And then one guy on each side was doing nothing but ground forces, just infantry and tanks. And then the other people were running mech lances. And it was a blast. It was kind of orchestrated. It was almost like the Nova show where we were limiting the turns to 30 minutes. Otherwise, we'd never, we'd still be there today.
Yeah.
We limited the turns to 30 minutes. Wherever you were at the 30-minute mark, boom, you're done. And honestly, the first turn was the quickest because everybody was afraid of not finishing and made bad decisions because of that. And then afterwards, we did have a couple of turns where we missed I missed on my second turn, I missed one entire mech because I didn't have time.
Oof.
But then it started snowballing like that. So we bumped it up to 45 minutes, which wasn't bad. I still got home at like midnight.
Ooh.
But yeah, it was a fun game. I won a box. I got Best New Player award. There was 4 newbies and like 6 really established BattleTech people, and I won Best Newbie. So I got a box of Intersphere mechs, which is kind of cool. Can't beat that. So
I mean, they're free models.
no, it's exactly, and I love them. So yeah, that was my battle. That was it. So guess what?
What?
We're there. We're in the lore.
We made it finally.
Yeah, I mean, the show has gone on forever, but we're finally here.
Yeah, I mean that, 30 minutes of silence.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't cut that, did you?
No, I'm not going to edit that out.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, great. Yeah, so I mean, we're moving on here. We got the 2 books. I think kind of the order we go in is we'll go White Dwarf because there's some interesting little tidbits in there for some narrative. And then I got a lot to rant about with the SoBs. So maybe we just hit Lumineth really quick so it's not just a parting shot at the end of the show.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's get into the White Dwarf real quick.
Okay, so the White Dwarf, I just kind of wanted to call out issue 481 is the one that's on the stands now, and it has the continuation of the AOS, what's his name, the campaign that they've been publishing
Yeah.
in here, and, tying it back to what we said before, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's a really good campaign system in this White Dwarf, and the one before it, I think it was in 479. This is called the Great Stomp Part 2. It's literally, it's Iron Jaws and what have you. You can mold it, and you can use this for ideas.
Yeah.
Steal these ideas. They're very, very good. And I think you'll find between the different battle plans and what have you, and there's a death theme in this one as well as the Iron Jaws theme.
That was really cool.
Yeah, and there's some cards and some ways to add death models as a random factor in your games. So some zombies might just pop up out of nowhere. They're not allied with anybody, so they're just there to be a thorn in everyone's side. So really kind of a neat little twist that you can throw into your generic campaign. So
I think that stuff is super cool. Like I'm thinking about like Vigilus, right? And how you'd have those like randomized like map rules that would come up. And like, how cool is it, like 2 armies going to war, little do they know that this battlefield has been used before and that the dead are restless. And then all of a sudden, like at the end of turn 1, you have all these zombies pop up, right? Because you've been moving on the ground and all that, and it woke them up. Like, that's the kind of stuff that you can take from, or get the inspiration you can get from these kinds of books and seeing these things, right? So like really use that. I mean, that's the fun about the narrative thing, is you could just throw in all these crazy fun elements, right? Without having it to be a published product on a card, right? And, just make sure that you do modulate it, because sometimes those things can get ridiculously powerful, right? But the random roaming creature stuff is always fun, like always.
yeah, a random unit of zombies is most likely not going to have a marked impact on the game, but at certain points in times, it could be really, really big. So it's just there for fun. Use it or don't. But again, when we talk about resources coming up, another resource for you to use.
Yeah.
And don't shut your eyes to these publications, because who knows, the next great idea might come from there, and it has nothing to do with what they're doing in this particular campaign.
Yep.
But you're able to pull that chunk out and use it in yours to great effect. So
yeah, super fun stuff. So use that inspiration.
yeah.
And, certainly as these things keep coming up, we'll address them on the show, since we're more narrative oriented, and as we continue the narrative series. And, part and parcel of the narrative series, Bill, I think is Path to Glory, right?
It is. So when we talk about Lumineth, we got to talk about a little bit about the Battle Tome as a whole. And I'm sure you'll do the same with Behemoth.
Oh, yeah.
In this book, not a ton has changed. However, there are some very major changes. Wow. Really?
Right.
Do you contradict yourself much? Yes, I do.
Yes.
What has been taken out of this book is a lot of the feel bad, really nasty things that were in the book that made playing against Lumineth not fun. Yeah. Like the Severith, the scourge of the table, the model that people took either to piss people off or didn't take because they didn't want to piss people off, has been toned down. And really all they did was, instead of moving in both shooting phases, he now only moves in yours, which seems like a minor change, but it makes him completely catchable. You can get to him now, you can charge him and engage him, and he's not going to just go, yeah, right, bye. So.
Yeah, and everyone talked about that for the longest time. We talked about it. That's the only change that you needed to make.
Yeah.
And the unit's perfectly fine. Still strong, still very mobile.
Yep.
All they needed was that change.
And if you're playing him now, you will continue to play him. He did not get, oh, well, he's worthless now. No, he still does what he does. He's awesome. But at no point now is it just a curse for your opponent. Sentinels got reined in a little bit, but again, you're not going to not take them.
Yeah.
They're still very, very good at what they do. The army-wide special abilities remain, except they're thirdified. So overall, really good book, super balanced. You do not have to lean completely into the techless. We just throw magic around. There are lists in this book, and there are great nations in this book that will allow you to play any. Do you want to be a melee army? Fine. Do you want to be a really quick cavalry type army? You got it. If you want to be the speller, well, guess what? You're about the best out there. Yeah. Techless still does his. Oh yeah. By the way, I cast everything because I said so.
Yeah.
Now there is a problem in the book right now as written, and that is that Techless
700 points.
Huh? Well,
Techless is so cheap.
He should only be like 120, I think, 140 maybe. Now, how much is Techless? 700. And he's way overcosted now. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's undercosted at 700.
So yeah, our Techless is still bonkers good. At 700 points, he'd better be, but he's godlike. So when you get into the path to glory for the Lumineth Realm Lords, prepare to be not disappointed, but you're going to look at the number of pages and go, they don't have a path to glory. Most armies start out with like, hey, this is the army special path to glory rule. And then this is how you build your army. And then there's none of that for Lumineth Realm Lords.
Yep.
When you turn to the page beyond the preamble, it just talks about how the Lumineth Realm Lords are the purifiers of the realms. It's the duty of the Lumineth to safeguard the mortal realms. When they triumph in a land blighted by dark powers, elven mages will summon huge Hyashian runes, each of which has its own arcane significance. Okay, so the actual rule there is, if you win a major victory, yes, only a major victory in a Path to Glory battle, you can say that the Cenari will seal the battlefield and brand the earth with one of these runes of the Lumineth. If you do so, pick one of the following runes and apply its effect in the aftermath sequence of that Path to Glory. So this is a one-time, you win a major, you get this. And that is literally their only Path to Glory rule. Now, these runes are bonkers good. So I am going to butcher the names of these runes. So prepare for that. Yeah. I will. Yeah. The first rune is Thalari. That one's easy. In step 1 of the aftermath sequence, you gain 1 extra glory point for each friendly Lumineth Realm Lords unit that survived the battle. Okay.
All right.
Nice. Nice. It's simple, but nice. Then you have Oriali. Okay, I like Oreos better. In step 7 of the aftermath sequence, reduce the cost of adding, recuperating, or reinforcing 1 Lumineth Realm Lords unit that took part in the battle by 1. Okay, that's a little more significant. Now you have Alethi, which is in step 5 of the aftermath sequence. If you upgrade your stronghold, reduce the cost of upgrading your stronghold by 10. Now that's really nice.
Yeah.
That is a huge bonus. obviously won't matter in the first couple of games, but will come very important as you go on in the campaign.
Yep.
Then you get into some of the names of runes that are really, really dumb. Like this one is Ydriliqui. Idriliqui? I don't know. Whatever. In step 6 of the Aftermath sequence, if you upgrade a territory you control, reduce the cost of upgrading that territory by 5.
Dear goodness.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll take 2 of those, please. Then you have Ingra. In step 2 of the Aftermath sequence, do not make injury rolls or casualty rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm Lord units that took part in the What? Wait, what?
Yep.
Do not. Okay. No injury rolls.
No injury rolls.
Hello. Thank you. I won a major victory, but I got stomped pretty hard. Yeah. That's an auto take.
Yep.
I mean, good Lord. Okay. Then you have Senlui. In step 3 of the Aftermath sequence, each friendly Lumineth Realm Lord's unit that survived the battle gains 1 extra renown.
There you go.
Okay, that's kind of like the Lari. That's kind of like the first one.
Yeah.
Except a little bit better.
A little better.
Then Senthoi is pick 1 friendly Lumineth Realm Lord unit that is not a hero and that survived the battle. In the next battle you fight against another Path to Glory army, before deployment you give it a veteran ability. Just for that battle.
Cool.
And last but not least, we have Ilvan, which is in step 3 of the Aftermath sequence. You can pick 2 friendly Lumineth Realm Lord units that took part in the battle to be your favored warriors instead of 1.
That's pretty good.
That's really nice, yeah. And if you look at all of these, they're going to definitely be situational. It's not like this one's an auto. If you got your butt beat, you're going to take the, I don't care how bad I got beat. I'm good. If you are really needing to expand territories, you're going to look at one of either the stronghold or the 5 points off. So they have 4 quests. Each of the quests are kind of interesting. You have the first quest to shine across the realms. And this one is at the end of each Path to Glory battle, add 1 quest point to the progress section of your quest log if you won a major victory. Okay, so, and there's no opportunity to buy in with renown points on this one. Once you've gained 3 quest points, you can pick 1 territory you control that can be upgraded. You upgrade that territory without spending any glory points.
Jeez.
So you need 3 major victories. And, but that's bonkers good. Hello, 0 cost? I'll take that.
Especially for those like 20 GP ones that you need to upgrade. Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So next quest is the Gates of Enlightenment. At the end of each Path to Glory battle, add 1 quest point to the progress. If you won a minor victory, add 3 if you won a major. Once you've gained 3, you can start using the Vanguard of Light battle plan. Okay. That's the unlock. The quest Purged with Hessian Light. At the end of a Path to Glory battle, you complete this quest if you won a major victory and have at least 3 friendly Lumineth Realm Lord units on the battlefield. So it can't be one of those squeaker wins. You gotta win big. When you complete this quest, if you win a major victory in your next Path to Glory battle, you can pick 2 runes to put out. So very, very, because
You just have that quest on repeat?
this one kind of, to me, is if you get the quest and then you rock up to your next fight and you don't win a major victory, you've thrown that quest away.
Yeah.
It's useless. So that one's a tough one. That one's iffy. Last up, you have Preservation of Power. At the end of a Path to Glory battle, you complete this quest if you won a major victory, and any friendly Lumineth Realm Lord units that survive the battle still have at least 1 Ether Quartz reserve. Now, if you know about the Lumineth, they're issued 1 Ether Quartz crystal. They can do very fun abilities with those crystals, but if they use it, they get that really cool ability for that turn, but they also lose 1 bravery for the rest of the game. So those are a double-edged sword. There is ways to bump up how much Ether Quartz you get. So, but this one is tough because you basically have to go through a game without using any. When you complete the quest in the next Path to Glory battle, you fight against an opponent using Path to Glory army. Each friendly Lumineth Realm Lord unit starts the game with 2 instead of 1.
Oh, boy.
It's a double-edged sword, though, because if you have 2 Ether Quartz and you use both of them, your bravery's down by 2.
Yeah, there's some things that bravery really starts to affect.
Yeah.
The Giants could do something with that.
Sure. Okay. And, you could end up facing, like, if you're going up against a morale bomb, a Night Haunt, a Night Haunt army, which is going to basically make you run away like little girls.
Yeah.
That's bad. So the veteran abilities for the Lumineth are reasonably tame. You have Shining Exemplars. Once per battle, you can re-roll one run, charge, or casting roll for the unit.
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
It's a weird kind
Once
of
per battle.
It's weird to be like run, charge, or cast. I don't know. That just feels like a weird combination of.
It's funny how they kind of consider casting in this book to be one of the basic things that you just do. It's like, oh, you run sometimes. Oh, you charge sometimes. Oh, you casted. I mean, because almost every unit has the ability to cast something.
Eesh.
So it's a magic heavy army.
Yeah.
Next veteran ability is Goading Company. This unit can use this veteran ability once per battle at the start of the combat phase. When it does so, you can pick one enemy hero within 3 inches of this unit. That enemy hero can only target this unit in that phase.
I like that.
That is bonkers good, especially when you're going up against one of those big nasty.
Yeah.
And they're about to spread hits around all your units. Yeah. You can just be like, yeah, no, wipe me out instead.
Yep.
Supreme Blade Masters. This unit can use the veteran ability once per battle at the start of the combat phase. When it does so, ignore negative modifiers when making hit rolls for attacks made by that unit in that phase. Huh. Wow. You mean I can ignore everything? That's awesome. And it says negative modifiers. So if you have buffed them, you're okay.
Yep.
So, and it's, again, once per battle. Gone in a Flash is this unit can use this veteran ability once per battle. Notice the theme here. When it does so, instead of making a normal move with this unit, pick a point on the battlefield within 24 inches. Remove this unit from the battlefield. Set it up again within 1 inch of that point and 9 inches from enemy units.
So busted.
So teleport. Although you could build some... There's a Lumineth army you can build that basically everyone has an 18-inch move. And that's the minimum move, because most of the time it's going to be 27, I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts. There's some... You can do some fun things with the cavalry in this book. The Blessing of the Gale is the next one, and it says this unit, excluding Alarith units, so don't think your stony people are going to do this, can use this veteran ability once per battle at the start of the enemy movement phase. When it does so, you pick one enemy unit within 3 inches of this unit. That unit must retreat.
Oh.
Is that not wrong? Oh, that is such a good hip pocket ability to have, and it probably won't come up very often, but man, when you need that,
Yeah.
it's huge. And then last but not least, you have Gift of the Mountain. This unit, excluding Huracan units, so sorry, Severith,
Yeah.
can use this veteran ability once per battle at the start of the combat phase. When it does so, add 1 to the damage inflicted by attacks made by that unit until the end of the phase.
Okay.
You know, it's yeah, okay.
Maybe spamming some Wind Riders. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you, it's
Or not
kinda fun.
Wind Riders, sorry, because it's not Wind Riders.
Yeah, you can't use Wind Riders. You can use the regular cavalry.
yeah, Dawn
Sentinels
Riders.
would be nice.
Sentinels can be good. Or the Wardens.
Wardens, yeah.
Yeah, like a 30 brick of Wardens.
3-inch wheat. Ooh.
Yeah, those will get real spiky. Get it?
Oh, I got that. That's spiky. And spears.
Mm.
All right, your territories are super simple. 61 is Scorched Earth. Nobody gets that one. It can't be controlled. 62 is the Realm Gate Beachhead. You can never have more than one. In step 3 of the Aftermath sequence, you can pick one unit on your order of battle to be sent to this territory on patrol. If you do so, roll a die. A 2 up, the unit gains a renown point. On a 1, it makes an injury roll or has its casualty increased by 1. So, and you upgrade it for 15 glory points, and then you can send 2 units. Or that could be 10 if you won a major victory.
Yeah. Yeah.
Next up is the Lambent Vale. You can never have more than one of that. This territory has no effect until it's upgraded. The upgrade is 25 glory points or 20.
Or 15.
No, 10. It's 10 for the stronghold, 5 for upgrading.
Oh, okay. So let me 20.
Yeah, 20 points. Okay. When you upgrade it, it becomes Prisms of Power. In middle and higher tier battles, add 1 to casting rolls for friendly Lumineth Realm Lords wizards attempting to summon endless spells. Okay. Really? You're adding 1 to Lumineth? Okay.
Oh.
Which actually sounds silly, but really they don't have a lot of pluses to their spell casting natively.
Yeah.
So mostly because a lot of their spells go off automatically. So yeah.
ridiculous.
We won't talk about how bent they can be. 64 is the Mountainous Shrine. Territory has no effect until upgraded. It costs 15 to upgrade, or 10. Observation Tower once you upgrade it. In step 4 of the Aftermath sequence, roll a die if you won the battle. Doesn't say major victory, just one.
Yeah.
On a 4-up, add 1 to the number of quest points you gain towards your given quest. That could be big for...
Okay.
Yeah, that could be really big. 65, we're getting to the good ones now. Illuminated Pathways. Territory has no effect until upgraded. When you upgrade it for 10 glory points, or 5. All-Seeing Ambush. During deployment in a Path to Glory battle, you can set up 1 friendly Lumineth Realm Lord units as a reserve unit, in addition to any other units you can set up as reserves. If you do so at the end of your movement phase, set it up 9 inches, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So it's just basically a extra or a reserve period.
Yeah.
So, and there's only a couple of Lumineth Realm Lord units that get to do that. But it would be nice to be able to add to that. So, and then on the 66, the Ruins of Faded Glory. You can never have more than 1, and it does nothing until it's upgraded. Notice that none of these territories do anything until you upgrade them.
Correct.
Except for the 62, which is the beachhead. Now this one, you upgrade for 30, and it becomes the Icon of Remembrance. In middle and higher tier battles, do not subtract 1 from the bravery characteristic of friendly Lumineth Realm Lords that spend an Ether Quartz reserve. Yes, please. Thank you very much. Give it to me now.
Right.
So that is the Lumineth Path to Glory in a nutshell. I told you it was quick. I told you it was simple. There's not a lot to it. And once you're done wrapping up Suns, we'll talk about why that is. We'll give our thoughts, which are pretty much a repeat of what we thought before.
Yeah, so sounds like let's get into some Giants.
Let's do Giants. What about Sun?
Well, I mean, this is what y'all came for, right? You knew we're a couple of SOBs, and so you want to hear about it. So, unlike Lumineth, there's a lot of meat to this for the Mega Gargants.
I see
right?
what you did there.
Lots of pages about, what it is to do certain things, because they operate fundamentally different than other armies, right? You're not dealing with, I can pick from 20 plus war scrolls or anything like that. I mean, you've got the, 6 Mega Gargants and then Man Crushers.
Yeah.
So you have very limited choices, and they have really interesting story in terms of like what it is they generally do, right? So Gargants don't hold territory, right? Their stomps, what they do is that they like essentially just move through areas, and they'll consume things in an area and move on, very nomadic. It starts out giving you sort of the idea of what's going to happen. The first thing, of course, is picking a tribe, right? When you pick a tribe, you have the 4 ones: Taker, Breaker, Smasher, Stomper, right? We all know those tribes. If you don't know the Smasher tribe, the Beast Smasher is the most recent addition to the Mega Gargants that's unnamed. That is very specifically to deal with monsters, and it does so really well. The whole book is like, and as you talked about earlier, the whole book changed in a way, right? So, before how they worked is that they did okay damage, right? They'd walk up onto a point, stand there, retreat a little bit, stand there, retreat a little bit, stand there. They play this game where they can win just by not dying.
Right.
And to play them well, you have to be a high level player, right? So when someone is navigating them at a high level, then they're going to have greater results. We've seen that
in the tournament.
Yeah, in the tournament stuff, in the meta watch. If you don't have a tolerance for that and like, I want to run in and smash things, and you don't know to play the retreat game, you're going to actually find out how fragile they are.
Yeah, exactly. You can run them into death really quickly.
I've seen a unit of 30 and one unit of 10 ghouls backed up by a arch regent just decimate a Gargant in one turn, right?
Yeah, if you don't play them if you didn't play them well, you could seriously think you were a lot stronger than you really are.
Yeah.
So this is AOS. Everything dies. Nagash dies regularly.
Yep.
So
knowing which tribe you want to take, and they talk about it, it's based off of the Lord and Master battle trait in the book, which is saying that, so your Taker tribe is your Kraken Eater, right? Your Breaker tribe is your Gate Breaker. Your Smasher tribe is your Beast Smasher. Your Stomper tribe is your War Stomper. If you notice very clearly, as indicated here, you cannot take King Broad.
What?
You cannot take him.
Screw this book. I'm done.
There is actually a really cool way to get King Broad to join you at one point, but starting out, your warlord needs to come from the tribe that you're picking, right? So it needs to be the assigned one. Can't be anyone else, right? Which I like, right? If I'm from the Beast Smasher tribe, I shouldn't have a Kraken Eater leading them.
Right.
You know?
Well, it makes kind of sense, yeah.
And one thing, sorry to mention about the different kinds of things. So the damage kind of shifted a lot. It appears that, in my estimation, the damage you do overall is approximately the same, right? A little bit lower with Man Crushers unless you're in certain tribes. But it's like your attacks went down, but your damage went up, right? So when your attacks go through, they mean something.
Right.
So like the Kraken Eaters club used to do 8 attacks at 2 damage a pop, right? Now it's up to 4 damage, 4 attacks. So okay, I get that. I like that actually, because I didn't think that Gargants were up there swinging ninja fast, with their weapons. It should be just a few hits, just, But they had a bajillion attacks. It was kind of ridiculous, right? Yep. But I get it because you can't have any models. So you pick what you're doing here, right? I'm actually really liking Smasher and Stomper. I know before Taker just gives you all the extra capping, right? Because you would count as 35 models, and then your mini Gargants counted as 15. Well, they still count as 15, but you only add 5 to your Mightier Makes Rattier table because now how many models you count as degrades over time, which is good.
Yes.
I thought that was the fair way to play him. When they introduced that with Kragnos, I was like, that's how you do it with
That's
Suns.
how it should have been. Yep.
That's how you do it with Suns. So it's not just walk forward, sit. You got to be doing something. You got to be in the fight. And they can be in the fight. They can just, I love how swingy they are, right? Because one turn you could just your army's gone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then you can play a game where you're not necessarily dying that quick, but you can't seem to kill a
but
thing.
You're not taking stuff off. Yeah.
It's fun that way.
They're so swingy. And I think this is why you see tournament results the way they are, is because there are some people, there's a percentage of people, myself included, that are just flat out intimidated by playing a Giants army.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how you're going to deal with that volume of wounds. Then there's other people that their list is not tailored for that type of damage output. So they're going to be sort of on the back foot. And then you have the people that are, top tier players who are going to know either how to play them or how to play against them.
Yeah.
And they're not, to them, it's just another thing.
Yeah.
So I think the tournament results for Suns are slightly tilted by the fact that in order to make it to those top tables, it's a good pilot.
Yeah.
And they're going to get good results.
Yeah.
Until they run into that thing that is just designed to beat the crap out of Giants.
Yep.
And, it's the old, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Yeah. So,
Yeah. I love how they play, and I love the swinginess. And that's how I feel like Destruction generally should be.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I think Gits are even fun, right? You have to have a tolerance for randomness.
Yes.
And if you go into that game just being I don't know what's going to happen, and neither do you,
right?
That's where it gets to be really fun. So yes, pick your tribe, right? And then you look at your starting territories. The territories for Gargants are different. Remember, they're nomadic. They don't hold territory. They don't develop things, right? They go to places and they eat all the crap that's there, and then they move on, right? That's what a stomp does, okay? The only reason they would stay in one place for too long is by not eating everything quickly, right? So that's kind of the concept you need to have coming in here, okay? So you start out with 1 wildlands territory in step 2, and that's it, okay? Yeah. So let me just go to page 73. So if you look at 73 in the book when you get it, has the different territories, okay? And the territories are divided up into 2 things. You have slim pickings and big pickings, right? And so the pickings determine how it's actually going to affect your ability to recuperate. And why does recuperating matter? Well,
oh boy,
that's a big part of the aftermath sequence I'll get to in a minute.
Because you have 35 wounds.
So that because you don't actually just outright die,
right,
as a Gargant, which is actually really cool. So you have a great opportunity to keep your models around for longer, especially when you put all that love and care into modeling them, when they're that big. So step 3 is you choose your warlord. Again, it has to be from the tribe that you picked, right, always has to be, at least your warlord does. Okay. And then make a very clear note here. Again, they're playing a different game because they're Gargants.
Sure.
The rules for unit limits do not apply to a Sons of Behemoth army. They're all monsters.
One would hope.
They're all battle line. I think 6 out of 7 models are leaders, right? And battle line at the same time. So those are like, you can't have rules on those.
Use the normal path to glory. It would not work.
So one interesting thing they do here, and I absolutely love this. What if you're starting at the Vanguard level, 500, 600 points, right? And you're like, well, how many Gargants can I take? Well, if I just take a Mega Gargant, I can only be in one place at one time. I don't know if that's even effective. What do I do?
You lose the game.
What do I do, Josh? Well, that's a really good question. You don't automatically lose the game because if you want to take your Man Crushes, you can start out with a Foot Slogger's Rabble.
Right.
Okay. Absolutely love this. So this is an alternative setup. Okay. And the Foot Slogger Rabble eventually becomes a stomp when you're actually able to recruit your Mega Gargant Warlord. You start out, you pick a tribe as normal. Okay. You don't get a Warlord, free order of battle before you fight the first Path to Glory game. And you can only add Man Crusher Gargants. Now, one thing that's very specific in this and developing your army later on is you can only add single Gargants.
Oh.
So you can add a Man Crusher. You can't add a Man Crusher mob.
Okay.
However, when you're picking your army for a battle, you can take 3 individual Man Crusher Gargants and deploy them as a mob.
Okay, that gives you the flexibility to use what you have.
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
So then, again, you only add Man Crusher Gargant units to your order of battle. It says here you cannot add Man Crusher mob units.
Yeah.
Okay. You pick 1 Man Crusher Gargant to be the Bull Stomper. This unit starts the Path to Glory campaign with 5 renown and 1 veteran ability. Ooh. So you get a little something, right?
Yeah, I'm down.
You don't get any core enhancements for your army yet. Then you choose a lower tier of battle for each Path to Glory battle you fight, because it's not actually a Mega Gargant, and your Mega Gargant, your Warlord determines your tier of battle, because you don't have a stronghold, right? Isn't it? I love it.
I love it. That's so okay.
See, it's very, very Gargant-y, right? So when you pick your army, the Man Crusher Gargant picked to be the Bull Stomper is your general.
Makes sense.
And then after a Path to Glory battle, each Man Crusher Gargant in a Foot Slogger's Rabble gains D3 bonus renown points. So if you want to get some pretty spicy Man Crusher Gargants to start, do the Foot Slogger's Rabble in a small game setting, and you'll be able to level them up quick.
It's going to be fun. Oh my gosh. What a great little, honestly, it's like a slow grow.
Right?
You know, you don't have to spend $800 at once. You can go out and spend 200, and then 200, and then 200, and then 200. But wow, cool.
Yeah. So if you don't I can't afford the 210 yet, but I can afford the 160 and get the Man Crusher mob box, then you can start out at 450 points, because it's 150 per.
Yep.
Right. Boom. You're in the Foot Slogger's Rabble. Then when you can finally get it, or if you're like, God, I really want to customize my Warlord, but I'm not there yet. This new Beast Smasher, I want to make it look good. I don't like the skull in the eye. It's stupid. I need to make sure that I have my custom giant. Well, then you can become a stomp. So if your army is a Foot Slogger's Rabble, you do not have to spend any glory points to add the first Mega Gargant to your order of battle.
Wait,
get it?
What?
Yes.
Okay, what?
Yes. You just get it.
No points.
No points.
For a Mega Gargant.
Correct.
Okay, free.
Yep.
So you get all this free stuff.
Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of gaming the system, start out with the Foot Slogger's Rabble, because you can only add the Mega Gargants.
Right.
The Man Crusher Gargants, and then you just stack up however many you want to have in your order of battle, and then, oh my gosh, here's a Mega Gargant.
Hey, look.
So instead, this Mega Gargant becomes your Warlord instead of your Bull Stomper. Okay? Now, mind you, it doesn't say that in anywhere here that you lose the veteran ability that you get for your Bull Stomper, right? So you get to actually have a Man Crusher that has a veteran ability and has 5 renown. And then when you add your Mega Gargant, doesn't cost you anything. You just put it in there. So, yeah.
As unfair as that might sound, honestly, I think that's how they stay in the game.
I think so.
You know.
I think so. And we'll talk about the lingering wounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you have to pick the Mega Gargant listed for your general from your tribe. And once you've added your Warlord, your army is no longer a Foot Slogger's Rabble. So you no longer get all those benefits.
Sure.
Right? So, I mean, if you're really know how to play the numbers and stuff like that, then you can make that work really well, where you can just get in those first few games to really upgrade those man crushers, and then boom, trigger in
then bring in the Gargant.
And that's not all, Bill. Your Warlord starts with 15 renown points and a command trait. After adding your Warlord to your order of battle, you can immediately choose any core enhancements for them as you normally would in step 4. So
Okay, that's broken.
So when you come in, you start as an adult Gargant. Now, the path to glory here, the tiers of battle determined by the rank of your Warlord,
Right.
not your stronghold. When you earn these different ranks, first off, you start as a Bull Gargant, 0 to 14 renown points, lower tier battle, no rewards. When you're 15 to 29, so when you bring it in, you trigger on the 15, right? Then you get an adult Gargant who has a command trait, right? That's why it comes free with it, right?
Sure.
Still lower tier. Then the Mighty Gargant is 30 to 44 renown points. Then you earn a quirk, which we'll get into later. You're still lower tier. It's not until you hit 45 to 59 to become an Elder Gargant that you're able to go into middle tier battles, and you get another quirk. Ancient Gargant is 60 plus renown. Again, you get a quirk, and you can be lower, middle, and higher tier battles.
Jesus.
So essentially, your Gargant needs to survive all those battles for you to be able to fight in those higher tiers.
And the balancing thing here is when you're playing regular Path to Glory, your stronghold upgrades as you see fit. In this, your stronghold basically is your Mega Gargant, and you are potentially losing your stronghold every game. So
Yep.
it's this is big. I like this.
So it doesn't stop there in terms of the interesting stuff it has. Man Crusher mobs in Path to Glory. This is where we talked about it, right? This is where it's saying that, for battle, 3 Man Crusher Gargants are combined into a single Man Crusher mob. The Man Crusher Gargant with the most renown is the Bull Stomper, right? So I already kind of like that, because it's sort of like as you're leveling up, like if you have Mog, Grog, and Dog, right? And Mog has the most renown points, then Grog and Dog need to fall in line, right?
Yeah.
So there's like, even though even though like lore-wise, like Gargants are kind of dumb, right? Like they're not the smartest things. They do one thing, they're destruction.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you actually have an element there, and I think you could play around with that a little bit as a Neo. But if 2 or more Gargants are tied, then you pick the Bull Stomper. They can only use veteran abilities of the Bull Stomper, cannot use any other veteran abilities. Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
We're doing my thing, not your thing.
Yep.
They may start the battle with wounds allocated to them owing to their lingering wounds. If this is the case, then the first wound is allocated to that unit during that battle can be allocated to any of the models in the unit that began the battle with wounds allocated to them. Subsequent wounds must be allocated to that model until it is slain as normal. That's where you have to be careful, because you don't want to like have a bunch of lingering wounds, right, on those guys, and then you put it on one and then just die in 2 turns, right?
That could be bad.
Or even 1 turn, depending on what it is,
Yep.
right? If you do take a Man Crusher mob and they gain renown points, each one of the Gargants receives the full number of points.
Okay.
And if you pick a Man Crusher mob to be your favorite warriors, each model gains D6 renown points.
Jesus.
So depending on your lingering wounds, it could be a really, especially at the very beginning, I would say, right? So you can't take Man Crusher mobs in your Foot Slogger's Rabble, right? But you level them up a bit,
Right.
make sure their lingering wounds are okay, and then you could take them in and just level these guys up like crazy.
Yeah.
You could have like a funny story about them too, So one thing that Gargants, even though they're expensive, they owe themselves to is customization.
Oh God, yeah.
And this Path to Glory, I think, gives you that,
In spades.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So let's talk about the aftermath sequence, particularly lingering wounds. Okay.
One thing I want to say about one thing that was on that table, and I don't know if you skipped this on purpose, but there's a note in that quirks table for the giants, and it says specifically that you cannot pick a quirk. You have to roll for it.
Yep.
So they're not going to let you pick and choose. When you get to the quirks, we'll talk about that. But
Yeah.
you can't choose what you want. You're going to have a little bit of random in there, which is only fair because you could actually custom make a stupid good.
Oh, 100% you could. And the fact that you're going to have 3 quirks by the time that you reach Ancient Gargant, I mean, it's only fair that they do it that way, because then you can make something. And the combinations are really good anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But it's also,
You're not going to be sad.
yeah, no, but when you think of the word quirk, it's not something you pick,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's this word quirk about it. Oh, yeah, no, I decided to do all this.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. But yeah, quirks are going to come up here in just a few.
Yep. I didn't mean to jump the gun. I just wanted to point out it's the first time I've seen them right in print.
Yep.
That you can't, either roll or choose. No, this is roll only. So fair. Go ahead. Sorry.
Lingering wounds, as I've been talking about this entire time. So you do not have like an injury roll afterwards. We're like, how many of my models die? That kind of thing. Because it would be unfair that you could have a weird spike. Like all the sixes you didn't get for saves in the game suddenly come up during Aftermath. And you're like, well, I just lost all of my models.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Instead, in step 2 of the Aftermath sequence, you roll on the Gargant Lingering Wounds table for each Mega Gargant, Man Crusher, Gargant model slain in battle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if your model doesn't die, you don't roll on the Lingering Wounds. If it does die, then it's not like a, chance for it to just instantly be removed from your order of battle.
That would be really...
That would suck.
That would be painful.
So 2d6, 2 to 3, oof, right in the gut. Add 2d6 to this model's Lingering Wounds total.
Oh.
4 to 5, Miet Ertz. Add d6 to this model's Lingering Wounds table. 6 to 7, ouch. Add d3 to this model's Lingering Wounds table. 8 to 11, just a scratch. No effect. And if you spike 2 6s, if you boxcar, you ain't strong enough to kill me. This model gains 2d6 renown points.
God. Not only did you not really hurt me, but you made me... Okay. But there is a downside to Lingering Wounds.
Yeah, so you record each model's Lingering Wounds total on your order of battle. If the Lingering Wounds total of a model equals or exceeds its wounds characteristic, it is killed and removed from your order of battle.
Ouch.
And at the start of each Path to Glory battle, each Sons of Behemoth unit in your army begins the battle with a number of wounds allocated to it equal to its Lingering Wounds total. And these wounds cannot be negated or healed. They can only be handled in the recuperation phase.
Oh my gosh, that's really, really bad.
Yeah.
That's really, really bad. I hope there's a way to fix that.
There might be. Might have to do something with the pickings, right? Whether they be slim, big, and what have you. So, if your Warlord is killed, this is Death of the Big Heal. If your Warlord is killed, the Mega Gargant you pick to become your new Warlord must be the same type as the slain Warlord. If you have no Mega Gargants eligible to be your Warlord on your order of battle and insufficient glory points to add a new Mega Gargant, you can add one new Mega Gargant of that type to your order of battle to be your Warlord without having to spend any glory points to do so. And your new Warlord gains 50 renown points, and if they don't have one, a command trait.
Sure.
Yeah, so...
Otherwise, you really wouldn't be playing at that point.
No.
You wouldn't be a good opponent. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I like that, I mean, it would really stink if you had that ancient Gargant.
Sure, yeah. You had them all built up to do anything, and then all of a sudden, you got a newbie.
Yeah.
Ew.
Territories. All right. So you'll always have one territory and only one territory. In step 6 of the Aftermath sequence, you make 1 exploration roll if you lost the battle and 2 if you won a minor or major victory. You must replace the territory on your roster with 1 territory from an exploration roll you have made in this step. This does not cost any glory points. Ignore the effects of the terrain. Instead, those territories either provide slim pickings or big pickings. And if the exploration roll is 61 to 66, your army has found one of the territories on the Sons of Behemoth faction territories. Each of these territories provides big pickings. All right? And whether your territory provides those affects the recuperation roll of your units, which is what we're talking about. Now, real quick note here, they just popped this in just this weird little spot. Outposts. Although a Son of Behemoth army has no stronghold, it can establish up to 3 outposts. So it's sort of like waypoints for them, I imagine, as they go through their stomp.
And yeah, there's other places that rely on outposts. So they have to have some mechanism in there. Okay, makes sense.
Right. So adding and recuperating units. So you have to look here before glory points costs. So to add a Man Crusher Gargant, 6 GP. Recuperate is 1. To add a Gatebreaker Mega Gargant, it's only 12 GP to add it, 3 to recuperate. War Stomper, 14 to add 1, 3 to recuperate. Kraken Eater Mega Gargant, 16 to add, 4 to recuperate. And Beast Smasher Mega Gargant, 18 to add, 4 to recuperate. But if you get King Broad, you can add him for 20 glory.
Oh.
But he has no recuperation.
Oh.
So, recuperating works differently for Sons of Behemoth. For each Sons of Behemoth unit that recuperates, if your current territory provides slim pickings, reduce its lingering wounds total by D6. But if it's big pickings, reduce it by 2D6. So, there's a give and take there. So you really, even though you have to constantly be changing your territory, because you have to roll for it, and you have to change it, because again, they're nomadic. They don't stay in one spot. When you get to those big pickings, it's really going to matter how you recuperate.
So does that mean the Kraken Eater who has a recuperate of 4, does that mean he rolls 4 times?
No, that's how much glory it costs.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah. So when
Sorry, I was misreading that.
Yeah, so when you recuperate, it costs that much.
So it's
GP.
only 2d6 or 1d6? That could be. You could be starting the game with a lot of wounds. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, it's still a solid recuperate, and that's only if you are actually slain in battle and
Sure.
rolled poorly on it. So
Right.
it's still hard to kill Gargants, particularly in the beginning of a Path to Glory
Oh, yeah.
setup. I mean, your man crushers are pretty squishy. But.
Yeah.
Right. So you have 4 quests. All of these are just fun. So the first one, Finding Bugman.
Yeah, I love it.
You're not sure why the pipsqueak in his flying ship goes by the name of Bugman. After all, he only has 2 legs and short, stumpy ones at that. Still, he serves the best grog you've ever tasted. If you've got the loot to pay for it, that is. At the end of the Path to Glory battle, roll a dice for each unit in your army is wholly within enemy territory. For each 5+, you discover 1 clue as to the whereabouts of Bugman. Keep a tally on how many clues you discover. If the battle was fought against the Karajan Overlord's army and you won a major or minor victory, you scared him off. Reduce the number of clues you have discovered by 1.
Oh, no.
Once you have discovered 3 or more clues, you complete this quest. When you complete this quest, in step 4 of the Aftermath sequence, you can spend any number of glory points to buy barrels of grog. Each barrel of grog costs 1 glory point. Keep a record on your Path to Glory roster of how many barrels you have. In step 7 of the Aftermath sequence, when a Sons of Behemoth unit is placed to recuperate, it can drink any number of barrels you have. For each barrel of grog it drinks, reduce its lingering wounds total by 1, and reduce the number of barrels you have by 1.
Okay.
So you're always going to be kind of hunting down Bugman just to make sure that you can, if you need to, spike a little drink to get your lingering wounds back up.
Oh, my God. That is so... I love that.
It's just narrative itself, right? And I love how, like, all these things, if you're reading them, they're just divorced from all the goings on in the mortal realms. They're just kind of...
They're not even playing the same game.
Yeah.
I love this. It's so good.
That's why I like them and Ogors, too. You know, they're just kind of doing their thing.
Yeah.
Like, Ogors aren't trying to necessarily do anything other than eat and pillage. And it doesn't matter what gets in their way. It doesn't matter about the politics, you know?
Yeah, I don't really care if I have this really cool arcane shrine in the middle of my territory. Is there meat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. Another quest, Monster Hunt. This quest cannot be completed,
Oh, well, that's great.
right? Instead, while this quest is on your roster, at the end of each Path to Glory battle, each friendly Mega Gargant earns 1 bonus renown point for each monster that was slain by them in the battle.
Okay.
So it's sort of like just park it on there if you don't need to do any other quests, just because it gives you extra little something, you know?
Well, and that's a great one to have in your hip pocket if you
Yeah.
know you're going up against some people that are gunning for you.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I'm going up against other Gargants, but I've got Smasher Tribe and I'm going to win this one?
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
going
well.
to do that real quick. I love this one. Quest. King Broad's Vengeance. King Broad was there when mighty Behemoth fell, undone not by a worthy foe, but by treachery committed by Sigmar and his Stormcast Eternals. On that day, Broad vowed to deliver vengeance upon the God King and all who worship him. Allied with your stomp, together you seek to lay waste to a Sigmarite settlement, said to lie yonder, carving a path of destruction on your way.
What is this anti-Sigmar thing?
Here's it. Sorry, no, Stormcaster cool.
Yes, thank you.
While embarked on the quest, you can include King Broad in your army in Path to Glory battles, even if he is not on your order of battle. At the end of the Path to Glory battle, roll a dice for each order unit that was destroyed in the battle. For each 6, you discover 1 clue as to the whereabouts of the Sigmarite settlement. Keep a tally on how many clues you discover. Once you've discovered 3 or more clues, you can fight the Path to Glory battle using the Wrath of King Broad battle plan. Once you have fought a Path to Glory battle using the battle plan, you complete this quest and you get the rewards based off of what is on that quest. Let me turn there now. When the battle ends, the player with the most victory points wins a major victory. If scores tied, it becomes minor renown. And then at the end of the battle, each unit on the battlefield gains 1 additional renown. So it's just a little something extra, right?
Yep.
Um,
But it's a great way to get Broad in your army.
yeah. And it's only for those purposes, you know. So if you're like early on, but you're able to actually he just is in your army while that quest is active, right?
Right.
So I don't have the renown to get Broad, but he's Broad. So let me just activate this quest and I'll have Broad until I get it done, right? Love it. In Search the Good Stuff, last quest. At the end of a Path to Glory battle, you complete it if you won a major victory. When you complete it in step 6 of the Aftermath sequence, instead of rolling a D66 for your first exploration roll D6 and add 60 to the roll.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because that's when you get to your territories. This is going to go by really quick. So all of them provide big pickings. That's your better recuperate.
That's the key to those.
61, Gyronite Tract. In addition, you immediately receive D3 glory points. And so when I'm reading this stuff, just imagine I said that territory provides big pickings.
Sure.
62, Stone Rot Ruins. In addition, each Man Crusher Gargant unit on your order of battle earns D3 renown, and each Mega Gargant unit on your order of battle gains D6 renown.
Jeez.
Fallen Mega Beast. In addition, roll a dice. This is 63, by the way. In addition, roll a dice. On a 2+, you can add 1 Man Crusher Gargant unit to your order of battle. Just cuz.
Oh, God.
On a 5+, you can add 1 Mega Gargant unit to your order of battle instead.
Oh, God. That's not 66?
Yeah, that's 63.
What the hell?
I love it. 64, Baggage Train. In addition, you immediately receive D6 glory points.
Jesus.
Spring of Aqua Garanis. In addition, in step 7 of the Aftermath sequence, each unit on your order of battle can recuperate without spending any glory points to do so.
This is broken. Oh, my God.
66 is the Ale House. You know, they all about that ale, finding Bugman. In addition, you immediately receive 2d6 glory points.
I hope you're all snake eyed.
So territory is very simple. It's not going to be complicated to track those things.
And you're not having to write them down or anything. It's just a one-time, hey, here's your bonus. And, these obviously work because of that.
Yep.
Whereas the other ones are giving you an ongoing benefit. They're only here once.
Yep.
And then they leave.
Yep. So if you keep having that quest activated for In Search of the Good Stuff, I mean, you're just like, what do I want this? What do I want this game? What do I want this game? You know? So Neos are going to have to rein that in, I think, probably.
The 63 might be problematic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just throwing tons of Gargants.
If it said for the next game,
yeah,
that would be one thing. But to just say basically, okay, I roll well and I pick the other one that gives me an automatic 60. So I'm going to be picking this every single time and just throwing new. By the time the games were 6 or 8 games in, I've got 12 Mega Gargants that I can pick from.
Realistically, though, I don't know who has the money for that many Mega Gargants.
You're playing against the wrong people if they do that.
Right.
But, I mean, I could see where that could be at once a lot of fun, could also be a very broken mechanic.
And again, that's just for event organizers. You got to be able to rein that stuff in, right? You can't let them go on where they're like, well, I mean, I have spent $2,400 at this point, but I do have 12 Mega Gargants. Can I take them all at once? Actually, you physically don't have enough space on the table.
Yeah, we don't have the room for you.
Yeah.
Although I would say 63 should not have been called Fallen Mega Beast. It should have been called, I don't know, how could you say buy more Gargants? Wow, those are so good. But again, these are one-shot deals. It's not like this is an ongoing effect. So they're super balanced because of that.
Yeah, so even if you do the one where it's like, oh, roll a dice and add 60 to it, I'm like, you can't pick the 3.
Right, that's just it. Okay, who cares?
Yeah.
That only happens one time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fine. You know, I think how they're set up is fair. I don't think they could have done much else with them. Like, it's just about them going around and being destruction units. Like, they're truly destruction in this Path to Glory.
They really did encapsulate destruction in this. And it sounds, when you hear it out loud, oh, they get this for free. They get 15 and, okay, they get 15. Well, you're right. If they didn't get those 15 points, they wouldn't have a command trait.
Right.
So this is how it's all balanced, and it's balanced against the fact that they carry wounds over with only one opportunity. I mean, you're looking at 35 wound models. If you have 18 of them, and even if you heal 2d6, you could spike and get 12. You could spike and get 2. And so you're starting the game with 20 points down. You're a 15-point model.
Yeah.
And you might be able to do some real damage, but you're probably going to die again, and it's going to be this cycle of, well, now I'm building up, lingering death points, and that guy's pretty much gone. He's going to be gone in a game or two.
Yep.
So, yeah.
True.
It's this, I think this balances itself inside of itself.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry too much about some Gargant player just running away with the game.
Agreed. Especially their Man Crushers, since they only have like the 5-up saves, they can just melt quickly. So I think your lingering wounds are going to be more affecting your Man Crushers than your Megas most times.
And, realistically, there's a lot of armies that can drop Gargants one a turn.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's one of those deals, and I don't want to say get good, but learn how to play against Gargants. Go to AOS Coach and listen to his shows on Sons of Behemoth and find out how to fight them. It's not as hard as you might think.
Yep.
So
the Man Crusher Gargant veteran abilities.
Wait a minute, they get those too?
Man Crushers do. Extra big bag. Once per battle, when it's picked to fight, you can stuff 2 enemy models into the bag instead of 1. Love it.
Okay, that's kind of nice.
Right? Pointy rocks. Once per battle in the shooting phase until the end of the phase, improve the rank characteristic of that unit's throwing rocks by 1.
Nice.
Right? I like that. Thick eds. So you pick it in the combat phase once per battle. At the end of the phase, the damage characteristic of the unit's headbutt is 5, regardless of the number of wounds allocated to it. I think normally it's 4. So you just headbutt real hard. Dangerously clumsy.
Oh, God.
So once per battle, when it's picked as a target of an attack in the shooting phase, until the end of the phase, this unit's timber ability causes D6 mortal wounds to enemy units instead of D3.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can shoot this guy down. It's going to hurt.
That's right.
Lucky Gits. Once per battle in the movement phase, when they make a normal run or move or run, till the end of that phase, add 2 inches to the unit's move characteristic. If the unit runs, this is in addition to the run roll. So you just throw an extra 2 on there. Great. And then Thick Skinned. So once per battle, when they're picked as a target of a shooting attack made by a unit that has received the Unleash Hell command, until the end of the phase, the unit has a 4+ award of 4+ against wounds caused by attacks with missile weapons.
Nice.
If you're charging down, they're like, I'm going to Unleash Hell with my 60 shots. And you're like, well, got a 4+ ward.
Yeah, sorry.
So Man Crusher Gargant stuff, you can see why some of that would be particularly good when you're doing the Footslogger's Rabble, starting out with just one that has a little something spicy.
Sure.
And then the big set of things. God, there's so many here. But each one of the different types of Mega Gargants has its own quirks, right?
You want to just hit the top couple of each?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So, again, 6 per, you're rolling a D6. In fact, what I'm going to do is, do you have a dice, Bill? Do you have a D6?
Do I have a die? Oh, God.
So what we're going to do, just for a little fun, like real-time stuff, is I'll have Bill roll a couple Mega Gargant quirks for each Mega Gargant. Just to make it spicy, instead of picking ones that I want to read to you, I want the dice to do what they're supposed to do.
There we go. I
All
like
right.
it. I have exactly 2d6.
All right, Bill. Go ahead and roll.
So for Kraken Eater,
1. Greedy. Add 1 to hit rolls for attacks made with the melee weapons by this unit that target enemy unit that bears an artifact of power or is unique.
oh, God.
That's not bad.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Second one for Kraken Eater.
Roll a 1.
All right, well, you have to re-roll if it's double.
Jesus Christ. All right.
All right, 6. Coastal Wayfinder. While the Finding Bugman or King Broad's Vengeance quest is on your roster, after each Path to Glory battle, roll a dice for each unit in your army with this quirk. For each 4+, you discover 1 additional clue.
So you see why they don't let you pick these? Because you could really cherry pick.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would be really bad.
All right.
So for Beast Smasher,
Roll it, Bill.
we have
2 and a 4.
2 and a 4.
2, Impervious to Pain. At the start of each of your hero phases, you can heal 1 wound allocated to this unit. Yes,
Nice.
please.
Yeah.
4, Big Appetite. It costs 2 glory points to recuperate this unit instead of 4. Yeah. Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
Bill
I'll
rolled
take
up a
it.
pretty good one.
Yeah. So for War Stompers, heck, look at that.
2 and a 4. Shatterer of Shield Walls. Add 1 hit rolls for attacks made with melee weapons by this unit that target enemy unit that has 10 or more models. Very similar to what they do with their Man Crushers.
Yeah.
And then 4, Counter of the Dead.
Ooh.
Keep a tally of the number of enemy models slain by attacks made by this unit during the battle. When the tally reaches 10, add 1 hit rolls for attacks made by this unit until the end of the battle.
Okay, that's super easy and super fun.
Yeah. Okay. Gatebreaker.
Gatebreaker. Don't you dare.
Okay. 2 and a 6.
I was like, if I rolled 4 of the same roll, I was going to quit gaming. Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. The 2 and the 4 for your lingering wounds.
Yeah.
I'd take that all day.
Oh, yeah.
Right? For the ones you take. Anyway, so Spire Toppler. When you carry out the Smash to Rubble Monstrous Rampage with this unit, if any part of the terrain's feature picked is 4 inches or taller, add 1 to the roll.
Wow.
Dang.
That's weird.
So if you have a mountain up there, you can just take it down. That is cool.
Awesome.
Then 6 is Superstitious. Holy crap. This unit can bear 2 artifacts of power instead of 1, and they must be different and must either be a core enhancement or taken from your vault.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Yeah, you see why you can't pick these? Because this is a flavor of what they're like.
Yeah.
And if you could cherry pick them, you could really be a nasty person.
So I will say that one of my votes for one of the best ones is for the Gatebreaker. It's number 5. It's very, very drunk.
Yeah.
Raiding 16 taverns in a row has proven too much even for this behemoth's constitution. A drunken Gargant can be even deadlier than a sober one. And so when he dies and he timbers, he does more damage. Oh, no. You pick a point on the battle within 3d6 of the slain model instead of 5 inches. So he can get up to 18 inches away and timber onto something.
Wow. He just rolled.
Yeah. So
those are so good.
that's Sun's Path to Glory. There's a lot in there and a lot to work through. Not complicated, but it really encapsulates what I feel is the narrative quality of them.
And yeah, and if you hate paperwork, the paperwork part of Path to Glory, these guys, you're going to be writing down wounds and renown and glory points like everybody else.
Yep.
You're not tracking territories. You're not tracking what your upgrades look like. Boy, super fun, super simple, and 100% different than every other Path to Glory out there.
For my vote, it's up there with Fire Slayers.
Oh, yeah.
It's up there with Fire Slayers.
I would say probably even better than Fire Slayers because of its uniqueness.
Yeah.
And the way they basically had to reimagine, and they weren't afraid to completely reimagine Path to Glory because honestly, it wouldn't work.
No.
The system as written would not work for Giants. Like you said, you could spike casualty rolls and, all of a sudden my Mega Gargant that is 100 years old just flat out dies.
Yeah.
And I literally have to start the game over, the Path to Glory over. And how much fun would that be?
No,
that's
none.
At least this way you control. Yeah, the lingering wounds are what I especially like is the idea that when you begin the game with lingering wounds, you can't heal past that. So if you start out with 15 lingering wounds, you're starting out with 20 wounds, and that's all you'll ever have.
Yeah.
So that's tough. That's hard, and you have to look at your games. And you might have that Gargant sit out a game, simply because you need to recuperate him some more.
Yeah,
and he gets to death's door, and it's like fantasy football. You got to sit him.
Yep,
you just got to sit him. So I honestly think both of these Path to Glories, Sons of Behemoth and Lumineth Realm Lords, are examples and great examples of them not being afraid to turn the system up on its ear and say, doesn't work well for this army. Let's do this instead.
Yeah.
And with the Lumineth, you're following all the same rules, but you get none of the benefits that everyone else does. Again, like Daughters of Cain, you're strong enough on the battlefield that you don't need a lot of side benefits. And the benefits you get in this book are huge. If you win a major victory, you can pretty much cherry pick what effect you want to have, and it's a major effect for where you are in the sequence. If you're in this first game, you're probably not going to pick the one to do the stronghold.
Correct.
However, you are going to be, I don't have to worry about any of my wounds. Mm-hmm. So you're going to go into the next game with that leg up. So it's a system that pays off in the long run, whereas, the Sons of Behemoth is a completely reimagined Path to Glory.
Oh, yeah.
Because it had to be.
It did. There's no way they're going to get to this without it. And the fact that they did it this way is just beautiful, And I think that the whole King Broad's vengeance thing is sort of a blueprint for how Neo should be looking at how you involve named characters, like particularly the big godlike ones, right?
The LRLs, the Techless. And yes, that's how you bring them into these games, is you make it a thematic part of being in the game.
Yep. And like when you look at bringing King Broad in, right, because you can pay the 20, glory to have him there, he can't recuperate.
Right.
And so like eventually he's going to die, or should we say just like leave, if you want to do it narratively. And that's one way to look at these other characters. Okay, do a custom quest, right?
Yeah.
Make it something achievable but difficult, right? And then, not like this one where King Broad just goes along with you. Also, that means King Broad doesn't get anything additional. He's just King Broad.
Right. He's just King Broad.
And he's helpful.
Very. But
so do that thing like, all right, so you achieve this quest. Now you need to fight a battle for your god, and they will join you, and you get additional glory points, but they leave at the end of it.
Sure.
Right.
And it's a great way to let you play with your model, maybe before you can actually afford to include it.
Correct.
All right, great. And you're not actually bending the game that much because, the game that I bring Techless, you might bring King Broad. And so, it's a And this is where, if you're running the Path to Glory, if you are the person running it, you need to look out for things like this.
Yeah.
Maybe don't let King Broad come into a game against someone who's, doesn't have any territories yet, doesn't have any veteran abilities.
Yeah.
It's just playing a straight 2,000 point army. And now all of a sudden you've got a Mega Gargant army that also has King Broad.
Yeah.
So you're looking at what, 2,600 point army?
Yeah.
2,600.
Jeez.
What is Broad?
580.
Yeah, 580. So 2,580.
Yeah.
So, that's not going to be a fun game
No.
for the other person. So, you have to keep your eye on that kind of a thing. But yeah, I am so thrilled that they are willing to bend their system around what these factions are capable of. And I honestly was sweating what the Sons of Behemoth was going to look like.
Yeah.
Because it could have been very, very bad and made them either way too strong or actually ineffective in Path to Glory. And I think with the rules we have, there's one big miss in this Sons of Behemoth Path to Glory, and that's the quest to find Bugman. I truly think once you succeed that quest, there should be a rule in there that for one movement phase, because you're so drunk, for one movement phase, your opponent gets to move your Gargant. Just one, and you pick it. But no, I'm kidding. But
Or
that
they
would
should
be
make
neat.
a custom scatter dice
Oh,
for.
God, yes.
In fact, that's what you do. If you're the Neo on this, if they complete that, the next turn they scatter dice their movement, and that's the direction they can go.
They are just so drunk. Oh man, yeah, you could have so much fun with that one. Oh Lord.
All right, and then like scatter dice your charge, like.
Oh, God. And whatever you end up in base to base with is what you fight.
Yeah. God, that'd be so fun. That'd be so fun.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite Path to Glory right now, like over Fire Slayers, because it's not as much paperwork.
For pure theme, I think this one is jumped to the top of the pile, as well as for playability. I think in terms of playability, this one's right up near the top. The Lumineth is near the top. The Fire Slayers is, of course. I think for playability purposes, if you're into that number crunching,
Fire Slayers.
Fire Slayers is the top.
Yeah, if you're an accountant that likes short, naked men.
Spreadsheets and naked men, that is the army for you.
I guarantee you that individual does exist.
He does. I'm sure he does. So
yeah, I mean, really interesting juxtaposition when you have Gargants that have all this flavor, so much into it, right? And Lumineth, which is like, well, if you get a major victory, bro, you get a benefit, but otherwise we're not really doing too much.
a huge benefit, but you have to win those big fights. You can't just sort of mail it in, and totally fair. It's the effects of those runes that you're putting down are so impactful that, and keep in mind, you're doing the rest of Path to Glory. You're doing everything in the system. You're getting territories, you're building up. All these things are happening, but if you win that major, holy crap, do you have something that's coming your way cheap? Or, to me, that one that says I ignore the casualty rolls, that's huge. So huge.
Yeah, that's insane. But I mean, and I think it is balancing with just generally they're really strong, and in Path to Glory, they can run away. So we don't want to give them something where they can keep running away. Again, it's just after every battle with a major victory, you get a boon.
Yeah.
Right. That's it.
If those runes were like a quest reward, or if they were something that was directly in your control other than the game, it would be broken. That would, I think, be bent. But in this one, you're rewarded for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
Win and cleanse the battlefield. Win and cleanse the mortal realms.
Yeah.
And if you fail, well, then you don't get it. You're still playing the game you're going up like everyone else. You're not at any disadvantage. However, your advantage only comes when you do well. Awesome. And I say kudos to both writers or to the writing team for putting together two Path to Glories. And when you get right back to it, the Tzeentch Path to Glory, for putting these things together that are just so thematically correct for these armies that it is a true breath of fresh air.
Agreed. So, folks, that does it for today's episode. Just a heads up, you're listening to this, we're going to be on a bit of a delay.
Yes.
At least by a week. Bill's getting some stuff reconfigured in the recording studio, and I'll be in a 3-week homicide trial. So
Yeah.
I'll be inundated. So will Bill. So we'll keep you all updated probably through the Discord. Just to let you know where
Discord
we're at.
and probably Facebook and Twitter and something. But yeah, I think the next show will at least be a 3-week delay.
Yeah.
Depending on your trial and how long it takes me to rebuild this room. So
Yeah. So we'll probably have an episode out probably the weekend of Thanksgiving.
yeah.
Right. So look forward to talking to you then. And for those who do stick around, we'll see you after dark.
If you would like to get in touch with us, you can reach us at our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/rollingbadpodcast, all one word. Our Patreon page is at www.patreon.com/rollingbadpodcast, again, all one word. The Twitter account for the show is at rolling_bad. Our individual Twitters are, for me, at Bill Castello, BILLCASTELLO. And for Josh, you can reach him at Anoyo, ANOYOE. All the guests on the show will have their contact information in that show's show notes. The music in the show is used courtesy of Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com and is used under the Creative Commons license. The Rolling Bad podcast itself is protected under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Information for this license can be found at creativecommons.org.